Hello everyone, it's your boy DometriousTheTitan, and today we're here to talk about Pokemon What? Hello everyone, it's your boy DometriousTheTitan. Today we're here to talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Did I enjoy the game? Did I not? Especially with all the nonsense and all of the all the backlash that it got before the game released. And right off the bat, I can say, yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the game. I'm enjoying it as much as I enjoyed any other Pokemon game, and it's just been a lot of fun. Let me back up a bit. There we go. I think. Can you? Let me stop. Oh my god, my hair. So yeah, right off the bat, I want to say that I'm having a great time with the game, as I said before. I didn't expect to not have a good time with the game. I've always been a huge Pokemon fan ever since I've been around 5 or 6, back when me and my family lived in PA. And I remember my very first Pokemon game, back when I was in school in Philadelphia at, 5 or 6 years old. I remember finding it in a class, Pokemon Crystal. I found it underneath a chair. This was before I had a Game Boy or really played any games, I don't really remember, but I didn't have a Game Boy at the time, I do remember that. I found Pokemon Crystal underneath a chair in one of the classrooms. I asked the teacher, or I gave it to the teacher saying somebody left this, because I didn't really understand Pokemon. I just knew that I was super interested in it, but it wasn't mine. So I turned it in, and the teacher basically said, like, what was it? I thought that was the end of it, and then the teacher said she couldn't figure out whose it was. She's asked around, nobody claimed it, so she gave it back to me. Thank you so much. I just realized that teacher is, I wonder if I really would have liked Pokemon if it wasn't for that situation. So she gave me the game, and then later on is when I got a Game Boy, and then I finally got to play the game. Been hooked ever since. I played every single Pokemon game that has been released since then, outside of Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon Sun and Moon 2, and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I wasn't a fan of diving into the Pokemon. It was just harder for me to dive into the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu train, just because I knew it played a lot more like, or played like the original games. Sure, it looks awesome, sure, but what threw me off was the fact that in terms of evolution or progression with your Pokemon, or gaining experience, I mean, I played a lot like the Pokemon Let's Go game on mobile, which is just no thank you. Like, no thank you. Not on my console. I'll save that for my phone. Oh, and then the Pokemon Black and White 2 and Sun and Moon 2, to me, I don't know, the story may be different than the original versions of those games, but to me, when I saw the cover art or the legendaries and saw that they were just a mashup of the legendary Pokemon in the game, to me that just came across as Game Freak, just a quick money grab. It seemed lazy. I'm not sure, again, not sure if the story's different because I didn't give it a shot, but I played the originals of those games and I'm fine with that. So with all that being said, again, am I having fun with this game? Hell yeah. You should definitely pick it up because it's a Pokemon game. Let's get into the nitty-gritty situation, or let's talk about what happened pre-release of this game. So, as most of you already know, before this game released, there was a lot of backlash from the community because of two things. One of which was the fact that at that moment we were just told that they were cutting Pokemon, I believe it was, and before I move on with that, before I knew the extent of the amount of Pokemon being cut, I was like, kinda sucks, but alright, that's fine. As long as they're putting in new Pokemon, I'm not that angry or upset by it. As long as, as long as the game's different enough and there's new Pokemon and new evolutions, then I'm still having a good time, that's fine. But then we find out that they cut over half of our Pokemon. They cut over 400 Pokemon, and that was just like, alright, that wound just gets a little bit deeper, but okay, as long as you're adding more Pokemon, that's fine. Maybe I won't miss them if the game's different enough. Okay, but people were not happy about that. And then, I think literally 2 days before the game released, before Pokemon Sword and Shield released, a news broke out, and pictures for proof broke out, showing the fact that the animations that, so Game Freak lied, saying that the reason they cut so many Pokemon was because the animations were too hard to do. Even though it's Pokemon, they just, move around a little bit. It's not that difficult. But anyway, I'm not an animator, so I can't really say that, I guess. But in comparison to most of the games releasing in the past, like, however many years, it ain't that difficult. But anyway, that was their reason for cutting over 400 Pokemon. And I will circle back to that in a second because I do believe that they did it for a reason, but it's not that one. So anyway, we figured out that they lied because somebody released pictures and proof of the fact that the animations or the character models of the Pokemon are exactly the same as the ones they used before. And if you look in an interview, I believe they said they made a statement in the past somewhere, however many years ago, of the fact that they future-proofed the Pokemon, so they did not need to cut any of the new Pokemon because the Pokemon that are in Sword and Shield, they're using those same models. So I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. You know, I'm on YouTube, but I'm terrible at explaining things, but they lied. But now the game is here and the truth is out. And based off what I've seen, outside of my opinion as well, I think people's opinions of the game is pretty positive. I think people are having a good time. It's not without its issues, but people are having a good time with the game. So I'm not really sure what other reviewers were talking about before this game released. They were saying that this game was not hand-holdy, and by that I mean like in the past games, you know, you go through the training of them teaching you how to throw a Pokeball and stuff like that. Pokemon has been out for too long for us to have to sit through that. They were saying it wasn't hand-holdy. I picked up the game playing and expected that it wouldn't be as hand-holdy like they said. Game was hand-holdy as hell. It is very much hand-holdy. Like, more than, I think more than the previous titles. You get into the game and at one point in the game, they ask you, do you know a lot about Pokemon? And to me, the way that came off right at the beginning of the game, it sounded like that was the game was asking me to click yes to skip all of the tutorial or click no to get the tutorial. I clicked yes, that I knew about Pokemon, you know, being as though I played it since I was 5 or 6 years old or something like that. And nothing was skipped. I went through a lengthy tutorial, and it was very annoying. And then you had, I don't think this is gonna ruin the game, Hop, like his name's Hop, like in any other Pokemon game, you know, this premise is kind of the same. You have your character, your avatar, and then you have like who's a child, and then you have another child that lives close to you, that's your rival and stuff like that. And I'm not spoiling the game too much. That's literally it's the same as every other Pokemon game in that respect, or in that aspect of it. The kid's name is Hop, and he wants to battle you at every single turn. I'm trying not to curse. It is very annoying. At that section of the game, he just, no matter what, if I felt like I take 5 steps and he's following me around and asking to battle, I'm like, go do anything else. Leave me alone. Speaking of easy, that is one complaint about this game that I do have. I'm not sure if like all Pokemon games were like that. I'm just misremembering how their difficulty, but in this game, it's just, I'm on the 6th badge now. I've played a lot of Pokemon since it's come out, but I actually got it the day before it came out. Thank you, Nintendo. But the game is a little too easy. I've had challenges here and there, but not too often do I find myself even needing to switch from my starter, which has been a problem for me. So another little bit of history with me is that I have only ever, since I first started playing Pokemon way back when, it's a tradition for me to only ever pick the water type. So no matter what that Pokemon looks like, or despite, you know, regardless if people like them or not, I am going to pick the water type. So I picked Sobble. I now have him at his max evolution, or he's fully evolved, and I've been having a good time with him. He's level like almost 50, 46 or something like that. I don't remember without looking at it, but I don't have the game running right now. I'm currently playing South Park. But the moment you get Snipe Shot, that's one of the moves, that's the main move of, so I guess every starter has their main move, their most powerful attack, but I think in this game you get it a little bit too early. The game's already extremely easy up until the 4th badge, and it gets a little bit more difficult, but not difficult enough in my opinion. And then I got Snipe Shot around that point, and the game just like, it just was a cakewalk from there. The 6th gym with the water type, you know, anyway. I'm not spoiling anything, Dimitri. Don't spoil anything. Anyway, moving on in terms of the graphics are definitely good. They're not so great in the wild areas. The wild areas, the game, remember that one tree that surfaced and everybody was talking about it looked like a PS2 game? most of the wild area. The background and the landscape looks like a PS2 game. But also in regards to the wild area, the mechanics in which the new mechanic where like you see the Pokemon walking around and or whatever, it's really cool. I really enjoy it. And unlike in the previous games with like the grass, in the grass where you have like, I don't really know how the system worked. You have like a certain type, like specific Pokemon in that patch of grass, and then you had like one rarer Pokemon and then maybe a shiny. This one, you walk into a patch of grass and you don't know what you're gonna get. You can walk into high level Pokemon and it's fantastic. And that's another thing, the openness of this game where you can, like, I remember when I first walked into the wild area, I was like, yeah, I can take on this big ass Onix that's standing up there with my weak ass Pokemon. He's a water type, so I went over there and got my ass kicked so hard. I went back to Nurse to go see Nurse Joy or whatever her name is in this game. I don't know if they changed it or not. And then just, yeah, got my ass kicked in the wild area and had to make my way back. And that part is fun. That was fun. Another thing with the wild area that you'll see is these dens that shoot beams of light into the heavens, and what those are is wild Dynamaxed Pokemon dens. And you can like throw something in the den or whatever. But anyway, you can fight those wild Dynamaxed Pokemon. I haven't done it yet. My Pokemon, while I was at that particular part of the wild area, my Pokemon were not strong enough to do so. And then I have just been going through the story since then, and I haven't found my way back to that particular area where they all are. You can collect watts from those dens as well, and you can exchange those watts for goods for other things, a lot like currency. And then when it comes to those wild Dynamaxed Pokemon, I've heard that it's really cool. Again, I haven't been able to do it, but I heard that it's really cool. It's again a little bit like it's a lot like Pokemon Go, where there is a massively strong giant Pokemon, and then you can use online or local play, I guess, in order to have a bunch of your friends attack this Pokemon, and I guess you all get it at the end. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to assume after you defeat it, you all get to catch this Pokemon as well. Haven't done it yet, I don't know. You guys should check that out, look into that. You'll enjoy it, man. I don't know what I'm saying like that. Why am I talking like this? And again, speaking of the wild area, another cool mechanic in the game is the whistle feature. You can walk around and click this button here down to whistle at any time, and you can, and when you do that with those Pokemon that are walking around, you can whistle, and they will hunt you down. And especially like a Sneasel, for example, they are fast. Like, I accidentally clicked it down. That doesn't normally happen. It's not a problem. I just happened to actually click this button down at that time and just got hawked down by this Sneasel, and I could not escape the guy. I tried to like juke him or whatever, and I couldn't, and he got me. And I wound up catching it, so that was cool. And then also another new feature in the wild area is that you can, like, walk slowly and sneak through the grass in order to avoid those Pokemon that are walking around, because you can get their attention if you walk around too fast making too much damn noise. So yeah, so that part's cool as well. And the game is just a ton of fun. Now, what issues do I have with the game? I'm not using a script. I like talking like this, so I'm trying to figure this out now. So one thing I think I don't like is the gym's difficulty. So far, I am 6 badges in, or 5 badges in, working on my 6th. I don't remember now all of a sudden. I think I'm on my 5th badge, working on my 6th. And one thing that I don't like so far, no, I have my 6th badge, sorry. One thing I don't like so far is the fact that there's these challenges that you do before you go and fight the leader of the gym, and the challenges are extremely easy, and so far the gym leaders are as well. I remember back in like Pokemon, with Pokemon Emerald and all the other games, the fact that the gym leaders used to be pretty damn difficult, and I am not really finding a reason to switch from my starter Pokemon. So I've been like putting in effort throughout the game in order to just like either not use Snipe Shot so much, or like intentionally cripple myself, where I just don't use my starter as much because he's too strong. Even though he's level 40 something, and I should have had more of a challenge at these later gyms. But anyway, That has been my experience so far. The gyms are way too easy, all of them so far, at least up to the 6th badge. And that part does take me back a little bit because it takes away from the fun factor of the game where it's just me flying through a game because it's too easy is not really fun to me. It depends on the game though. At least it just doesn't work here, where this game is supposed to be a little challenging at least. What else don't I like? Oh, well, let me bring up the fact that with all the missing Pokemon, all the over 400 Pokemon that are missing from the national deck, or in the national decks or whatever in this game, I so far haven't really missed them. At least not so far. I'm still discovering new Pokemon as I go, and it's a ton of fun, and it's cool. I'm still enjoying the game regardless of if they're there or not, the missing Pokemon. Breathe. What I think is happening is, what I think Game Freak is doing is, like I mentioned Pokemon Sun and Moon 2 and Pokemon Black and White 2, what I think we may see is a Pokemon Sword and Shield 2, and then we're going to see the remaining the missing Pokemon in those games in order to make Pokemon Sword and Shield 2 a little different. Would I be picking that game up? I'm not really sure. I'm not a huge fan of buying the second versions of those games because I think it's lazy. Unless the story is massively different and people are talking about it because it's just that cool. I don't know. We'll see. What else don't I like? Well, forget that for a second. Another cool feature in this game is like the shaking of trees. I'm like strangling something here. That's not shake anyway. Another cool mechanic in the game is how you get berries. And what you do there is you walk up to certain trees that show berries on them. And what you can do there is you can shake the tree. And you shake the tree and berries will fall down and it shows you the number of berries that fell, and then you can stop shaking the tree and pick them up, or you can continue and eventually you will see the tree start to shake on its own. And what's happening there is that there's a Pokemon inside of that tree and it will jump out at you the next time you shake that tree. And the cool mechanic there is that if you choose to battle that Pokemon, if you lose, you have now lost the berries that have already fallen down from the tree, and the tree is now void of berries or empty now, so you can't collect anymore. You have lost, my friend. But if you win that battle, you can continue to shake the tree and you win more than usual or something like that. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Oh, that was the other one. Another thing that I don't like about the game so much is do you remember in the old Pokemon games that there was a thing called EXP share? Because back in the olden days, you had to swap Pokemon in your party to battle in order for those other Pokemon to gain EXP. And what EXP share did was you place that on one of your, I may be misremembering here, but you place it on one of your Pokemon, and then if you battle with that Pokemon, I think it was like the rest of the Pokemon in your party gained a little bit of EXP as well. I may be misremembering here or exactly how that worked, but I do believe that is how it worked. So this game plays a whole lot like that. So there is no EXP share in this game. You don't need it. This game, how it works is that, like, again, another reason why I didn't really need to switch from my starter that much, because all of my other Pokemon are evolving in my party anyway without me switching to them at all. You can battle with your, whichever Pokemon that you're using, and then all the other Pokemon in your party will gain experience as well. It is cool. It is cool when you need it, but I'm not really sure if I'm a huge fan on it. Fan of it. Now, I spoke about the graphics a little bit earlier. I was saying that the wild area in the game really is not pretty. But that same thing cannot be said about the rest of the game. If you go to the towns, it's gorgeous, and then I'm not going to spoil anything, but later on in the game, you will see this one town in which most of all the Pokemon are flying about, and they're fairy types, and the whole town is gorgeous and glowing and colorful, and it's awesome. My camera's about to die, so hold on one second. As for the Dynamaxing itself, I think it's pretty cool. I enjoy, one thing that's kept it more interesting, for example, is Machamp. I had no idea, like some Pokemon, when they Dynamax, they just get bigger in the gyms. They just get bigger, and that's pretty much it. What I didn't expect was certain Pokemon like Machamp and others, I'm forgetting the names of the rest exactly because they're newer, forgive me. They get completely new models. It's pretty cool. Like, Machamp is awesome looking. Hold on a second. Machamp, sorry, Machamp. I was messing that up entirely. That's why I was like, hold on a second, I'm getting that name wrong. So Machamp, sorry, not Machamp, Machamp, when he Dynamaxes, he looks awesome. His hands are all glowy and lava-like, and his eyes are glowing, and he looks really cool. And I enjoy that, not knowing. So I intentionally stayed away from a lot of the drama with this game. I avoided the chart showing exactly what Pokemon are and aren't in this game, because I wanted to dive into this game completely fresh, despite all the problems and the drama, and just enjoy a Pokemon game. And I did not want to see the evolutions of the new Pokemon. I didn't even want to see the new Pokemon. So I just went completely blind into it, even though I heard, you know, the drama and stuff. But anyway, I dived completely into the game blind, and it's made the experience much more fun, especially when, like, you know, I'm still discovering new Pokemon and I really don't know what new Pokemon are in the game. So when I discovered them, it's cool as shit. You know, I didn't go to, you know, certain, you know, whatever websites to try to look up the evolutions and stuff like that. Speaking of the evolutions, am I happy about Sobble's full evolution in Teleon? It grew on me. That one took me a while. I wasn't too happy with the... My dog's automatic dog feeder went off, sorry. Anyway, if you want to pick up this game and you're on the fence, get the game. If you're into Pokemon, I mean, get the game. It's awesome. It's another Pokemon game. I'm not sure if we're going to see a new one for quite a while, you know, thinking about how long they took to make this one. But if you... I mean, at the same time, if I go off my theory, they're going to be making a Pokemon Sword and Shield 2. As for the story, that's important as well. The music in this game is great. I think it's all awesome. It's all good. Pokemon's known for, like, really solid music, especially, like, Pokemon Emerald and, like, the rainy areas and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. But as for the story the story's good. It makes as much sense as, I mean, it makes sense. It's good, I like it, it's cool. I'm not finished the story yet. I'm not gonna talk about it, because, you know, I don't wanna, you know, ruin it for anyone that hasn't picked up the game yet, but the story's good and I'm enjoying it as well. Do I recommend this game? Hell yeah, man. Do you like Pokemon? Pick it up. Why would you not pick it up? It's Pokemon. I know there's missing Pokemon in the game, but pick it up. You're gonna enjoy it. There's new guys in there. So enjoy the game, man. Or gal, sorry.